Right, Veritas48, symbolic responding to your first set of 5 questions for atheists. You write good questions, man. The first question, I've heard this before. Why is there something rather than nothing? Um, I've looked at different ways to approach this question. Um, I think we have both. I think that we have both. That's not sort of either or. So, everything that exists is sort of carved out by everything that it is not, So we can describe this thing in terms of its positive attributes or in terms of its negative attributes. So, whatever it is, the shape it has and all the other qualities, it is also that by virtue of everything else that it is not, that has basically carved it into existence, I suppose you would say. I don't know whether it's, yeah, I don't know whether it's that's sort of a deprivative process, but so I do think we have nothing. Nothing defines something as well as something defines something. Um, uh, yeah, so nothingness exists. So you have to say nothingness. If you're there and someone says, "What are you thinking about?" and you say nothing, then they think you're not thinking of anything. So you got to say, "I'm thinking of nothingness." Uh, And what makes it all interesting is this question why. I love the question why because it's a real open-ended question. It opens the mind. We use the word why. We sort of answer the word why in 3 ways. One is we come up with a cause. Why is the sky blue? And we can have a physical cause for that and say, well, because the light's diffracting through the atmosphere, and then we feel a sort of satisfaction that we have found a cause. We also use the word why in terms of our own human intention. Why are you doing this? And you do something to achieve a particular goal, a particular end. So it expresses our intention or the goal of our intention. And then why also has a slightly different instrumentality question for it, like a hammer. Why is a hammer the shape the way it is? Because its purpose, the purpose we are going to use it for, not its inherent purpose or its inherent goal, but the goal we give it, um, is that it will serve certain functions. So I guess it's sort of function related instrumentality. So when we use the word why, we get all 3 of those in one, and I think it expands our mind in that way. Um, when is a pretty simple question, right? Who is pretty simple, but why really opens the mind. Um, um, so if we go back to the first question about why is the sky blue, I had a thought on this. You know, that has a single, that calls for an explanation for a single thing. But when we add 2 things into the question, for instance, why is the, well, in this case, why is there something rather than nothing? Why is the sky? Why am I a human and not a dog? Um, it it causes it changes the nature of the question really, because you're no longer really asking for a cause of one single thing. You're comparing 2 things, and you're saying, well, why was this? Well, why? Almost as if there were an intention. It implies a sort of intention, but I think it's really just asking the question, why does the universe have this particular form? The form in which I'm a human and not a dog. Uh, and of course, whatever form it took, we could always ask the same question. Um, so that's why there's something rather than nothing. There's actually nothing too. Nothing also. Nothingness also. Uh, what arguments are theistic arguments are persuasive to me? Or what do I find persuasive with regard to theism? As far as arguments, I like the Kalam argument very much. It's not fully persuasive to me, but I really like it. And I like Anselm's argument in the Proslogion. I think that's a great argument too, fascinating argument. Um, I think those would be the most persuasive things to me. How do I reconcile atheism with the ultimate meaning in life? A meta narrative? How does it fit into a meta narrative? Um, that's uh, it's interesting because obviously, unlike a theism where you are deciding that the meaning is really kind of determined for you in a sense by an external deity. Um, with atheism, you're of course constantly uh, faced or fraught with the question of meaning. What does it mean? And in a way, what does it mean is kind of like why. It's like kind of like the question why. What is meaning? Where we make sense of something, or there's some rational thing, something makes sense to us, something, of course, we have other meanings for it, but um, it may just be a grand tragedy. That's a possibility. We could flicker for a moment and be gone off the stage of existence. The stage of existence. I wonder who the audience is, huh? So there's different ways to formulate it as a tragedy, or you could say there's a meaning we don't understand. You could say we make our own meaning. I mean, there are flaws to all of these approaches. Um, some people believe that there is meaning inherent in the universe, or it's the very order and structure of the universe that is the profound meaning, and that somehow we sense that, etc. But I'm not too sure about meaning myself. Uh, what is the ultimate goal of atheism activism on YouTube? I didn't come on YouTube to engage in religious dialogue. Really, I came on to learn different things. I actually got pulled into it because of various sort of attack videos against atheists. So I responded to those. I tend to respond to what clearly to me appeared to be a prejudice. Of course, I also discovered all the atheist response attacks or attacks. I mean, I don't know. It's like the cycle of violence. I don't know who began this whole thing, but it just keeps going on, and I really think the cycle has to be broken at some point. There's no reason for people to be going tooth and nail at each other and attacking each other. You know, but so I mean, I like to dialogue. I've always been fascinated by religions all my life. So I enjoy dialoguing about religions. But and I enjoy clarifying. I enjoy resisting or disproving the stereotypes that are out there. But primarily, I just enjoy the dialogue. I always tell people, you don't often find me debating. You usually find me trying to contribute new ideas or unique ideas or creative ideas or something. To expand dialogue rather than debate. Though I like watching formal debate, rigorous formal debate. I enjoy. Um, yeah, I kind of take the fifth one as. Gosh, I skipped four. Okay, I'll jump to four real quick. Were you raised in a religious environment? No, no, I wasn't. I was raised in an atheist family. Most of the family members were unreflectively atheist, however. What is okay? So I'll go back here. You have an investment value, I think, as a theist or a Christian. You mentioned you have a sort of what I can interpret to be sort of an investment value in what you're doing. There are other reasons atheists would engage in. I mean, if you find an atheist who is really trying to convert or deconvert people to atheism, some people just are anti-theist, and they just believe that theism, religion are shackles upon the human mind, that their job is to free the human mind from chains and shackles, the chains and shackles of religion, and so this then becomes a justification for what they do, or their investment value is to, in that regard, is to improve the condition of humanity because everybody's thinking more freely, etc. I've heard people say this. Um, um, but I'm sort of a different creature. I'm like I say, I'm more interested in sort of creative contributions to the dialogue, and as you know, I'm a quote unquote negative atheist. So I tend towards agnosticism, and we've gone through the whole dialogue about how it's not really the appropriate term to use, and agnosticism is a really epistemological question, not an ontological question, so it's inappropriate to do. Basically, I don't know. I've suspended judgment, so I guess you could call me a skeptic, but a positive. I'm not going to use positive or negative, but that's a little trap I'm falling into. My God, a skeptic, how would I say it? Cheerful skeptic, I guess you'd say. All right, that's my technical term, cheerful. How about that? The cheerful skeptic. There's a username. All right, buddy. Great questions. Thanks a lot for asking them, and I will talk